I used to believe that when people go missing, they simply vanish, run away, start over, or fall victim to something tragic. But that was before I worked at the place where the missing come back. I was an employee at a federal archival facility, not the kind with dusty files and old paperwork. I worked in a classified division, one the government calls the Archive of Lost People. You probably think it's just storage for files, right? It isn't. That place isn't meant to store information. It's meant to contain something. And sometimes the people who return aren't exactly people anymore. This is the reason I quit, and the reason I left the entire state the next morning. In 2022, I was assigned to a facility deep in the forests of Colorado. It isn't on any public map. GPS cuts out miles before you get close. Google labels the entire region as restricted area. When I arrived at the gate, there were 3 layers of security. Badge check, eye scan, fingerprint scan. I legitimately thought I'd walked into a CIA bunker. My supervisor, a man named Fincher, led me down a windowless concrete hallway. The lights flickered every few seconds, buzzing with that soft electrical hum that crawls under your skin. He said, "From now on, you'll be assigned to Storage Sector 7. That's where we keep the special cases." I asked what special meant. He just said, "You'll see." And that sentence has been stuck in my head ever since. Sector 7 was at the very end of the hall. A heavy metal door with a plaque that read, "Authorized personnel only, level black." I'd never heard of a black level clearance. Fincher explained it was above top secret. He handed me a separate access card. Black metal, ice cold in my hand. When I swiped it, the door made a grinding sound, like something heavy was being dragged out of the way from the inside. The room beyond was pitch black, a damp, metallic smell, mixed with something like dust and earth, flowed out. Fincher gave me a flashlight. When I stepped inside, I froze. It wasn't a file room. It was a long corridor of glass containment chambers, like hospital isolation rooms, but empty. No beds, no equipment. And inside those chambers were figures, standing perfectly still, heads bowed, not moving. My skin crawled. Fincher said, "They're not dead, but they're not normal anymore." Fincher explained. Every person in those chambers was a missing person case, found months or years after they'd vanished. But when they were found, they didn't talk, didn't respond, didn't seem aware of anything. They all appeared in places where they didn't disappear. A woman who vanished in New York, found standing in the living room of a family in Texas. A 10-year-old boy who disappeared at a Florida beach, found silent and barefoot in a shopping mall restroom in Oregon. Always the same posture, head down, arms limp, barefoot, completely silent. And all of them, every single one, covered in black sand. Chamber 12 held a tall, thin man with silver hair. No name, no ID. No idea who he was. He always stood, facing the back wall, not moving, and his left hand was always raised, pressing lightly against the glass as if touching something that wasn't there. I asked Fincher, "Why does he stand like that?" Fincher sighed. When we found him, he was in a family's bathroom. He was pressing his hand against a wall, like he was trying to listen to something behind it. I asked, "Was there something behind the wall?" Fincher's face stiffened. "You don't want to know!" I hated when he answered like that. Sector 7
has only one night guard on duty at a time. That night, it was my turn. My instructions were simple. Check each chamber every 30 minutes. Log any movement. Under no circumstance, open a chamber. The first 2 checks were uneventful. On the 3rd check, I noticed a section of lights were out ahead of me. I raised my flashlight. The beam hit chamber 12, and my stomach dropped. The tall man wasn't facing the wall anymore. He was turned toward me, head tilted, eyes wide open, but he wasn't looking at me. He was staring over my shoulder, my body locked up. I slowly turned around. Nothing. When I pointed the flashlight back at chamber 12, he was facing the wall again, exactly as before. I wasn't imagining it. I know what I saw. At around 2:10 a.m., the internal speaker crackled on. A monotone voice announced, "Chamber 14, open." My heart dropped. Those chambers can only be opened by Fincher's master access card. I grabbed my radio. "Control, who opened chamber 14? Respond." Nothing. I sprinted to chamber 14. Its glass door was cracked open. Cold air poured out. The woman who'd been inside was gone. On the floor was a single footprint, a small bare one made of black sand. The footprints led down the unlit hallway. I followed the footprints. The corridor was pitch dark. Only my flashlight cut through the shadows. I heard something, a dragging sound, like bare feet sliding across concrete. Then a whisper, right behind me. "Shh, we're not done yet." I spun around. No one there. When I looked down again, a fresh black sand footprint was now right in front of my shoe, as if someone had been standing there, face to face with me, 1 second earlier. My hands started trembling. Back in the surveillance room, I found Fincher waiting. I demanded answers. "What is this black sand? Why do they all have it on them?" Fincher hesitated, then finally said, "That sand isn't from here. It's from where they were. Held." I asked, "You mean where they went when they disappeared?" He shook his head slowly. "No, we don't know where that place is. We only know that when they come back, they've been dropped here, returned, like someone threw them back." Then he whispered, "And the ones who return, they're just shells. The rest of them stayed on the other side." I pulled up feed from hallway 2. Static flickered across the screen. Then I saw her, the woman from chamber 14, standing dead still in the center of the hall, head bowed, shoulders twitching like she was breathing fast. I pressed the radio button. "Ma'am, can you hear me? Are you hurt?" Suddenly, she lifted her head, but she didn't lift it normally. Her chin snapped backward first, almost like it broke, and the rest of her head followed. My breath stopped. The camera field glitched violently, then cut to black. At the very end of the facility was a door I'd barely noticed before. A massive, black steel door. It had a single label: Archive. Sub-level 0. Black sand was spilling out from the bottom, like someone was pushing it through from the other side. Then the door shook. A slow, heavy thud, followed by the sound of long fingernails scraping metal. I backed away. Another thud, harder. Then a voice whispered, muffled through the steel. "We found you!" I ran. I reached the main surveillance monitors. All 22 containment chambers were empty. Every single one, and inside each chamber, written on the glass in streaks of black sand. "We trade, 1 for 1. My heart stopped. I knew exactly what it meant.
I resigned the next morning, packed nothing, left the state by noon. But ever since that night, every morning, there's a small patch of black sand at my front door. Not much, just enough to know someone's been standing there. And last night, as I was falling asleep, I heard a whisper, inches from my ear. Your turn.